All right, looks like people are jumping into the room. We'll give everyone just a couple minutes to get settled in there. Make sure you guys are kind of familiar with how Zoom works. So if you guys have questions or answers, or if you want to participate in the chat, of course, we have the chat there at the bottom, also the Q&A button. That'll pop up all your questions and answers for you. If you want to answer those or ask those, we'll be kind of holding those towards the end there. But while we're letting everyone get settled, if you guys pop into the chat, let us know where you're joining us from. And we'll give everyone just another second or two to get started or joined in. Happy Election Day, everyone. I hope you guys are, if you're in the States and joining us, exercising your right to vote today. We will be refraining from any election talk further than that, though. But I appreciate.
I have a full analysis ready, Ben. So I don't know what.
Yeah, we have a full analysis ready, and we have a full giant touchscreen board. We're going to talk about. No, just kidding. None of that today, guys. Jordan's joining us from Boise. What's up, Jordan? Good to hear from you again. Hope you're doing well. And it looks like we have a few people joining us, so we'll go ahead and just get started. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ben Jacobson. I am the host of SEO from Home, as well as the digital marketing strategist here at Page One Power. And we are here with Michael Johnson, and we're going to be doing SEO from Home. If you guys haven't seen the series before, basically this is our webinar series to kind of keep the SEO community connected. While we're all kind of working in varied work environments, a lot of us are working from home, but we still wanted to kind of be able to talk and keep connected with a lot of people inside of the industry. So what we're doing is we're sitting down with SEO industry experts, and we're talking about a bunch of different topics inside of SEO marketing. Last week, we actually sat down and we're talking about PPC. So not just SEO, but not only PPC, but PPC in Spanish. So we're broadening our horizons. We're doing a lot of stuff just outside of SEO too. But that being said, every week we're talking with SEO people from around the industry, and we're trying to give you guys actionable insight and things that you can do on your website and for your business to actually make an impact today. So all of that being said, if you guys want to check out any of those old episodes, those are actually up on our website at pageonepower.com or on our YouTube channel. That being said, we're also going to be recording today's episode. So if you guys have to step out for any reason, if you need to check back with work or anything like that, we'll actually have this recorded up, and we try to have it up in about 24 to 48 hours for you guys. But that being said, we're really excited because we're actually going to be joined by an alumni here at SEO from Home, and also, of course, our very own Michael Johnson. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how to rank your content the Michael Scott way. So I hope we have some of The Office fans in the audience today, because we're going to be there's going to be a lot of puns. There's going to be a lot of memes, and it's going to be awesome. We're super excited for it. If you guys are joining us and you want to participate or ask questions later on, you can always do that, of course, on Twitter as well. Use hashtag SEO from Home. Tag at Page One Power, or you can also tag Michael, and that's at MFJohnson89. If you guys are interested in participating even further, we also have an SEO from Home Facebook group. So we try to participate or have people participate in there, ask questions. We have a lot of our former guests in there. We have a lot of people from Page One Power in there answering questions. So if you guys maybe need some help or just want to have somewhere to kind of discuss things, we have that as well for you available. All of that being said, my mouth's drying out. That was a mouthful. We're super excited to be talking with Michael today. And like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about ranking content the Michael Scott way. So Michael Johnson, tell us what ranking content the Michael Scott way means.
Thanks so much, Ben. Well, I'm excited to chat with y'all today and talk a little bit about how to be feared and loved and rank content the Michael Scott way. Really what it comes down to, and what I wanted to talk about was, I've been doing sales here at Page One Power for about 8 years now. And over that time, I've helped hundreds of businesses create link building strategies and content strategies. And there's so many pitfalls that I see time and time again that even some of the biggest brands in the world fall into that prevent their content from being successful. And so what I wanted to do was put together a presentation that showed all those pitfalls, and then from there provide real life solutions to those issues so you can apply those to your own content strategy. And aside from that, I wanted a cool theme for my presentation, and I love The Office, probably my favorite TV show of all time. And I said, what better theme than Michael Scott from The Office? And so while you're going to be hearing from me, Michael Johnson, I hope that another Michael Scott can have his presence be felt today as we talk. And really, just like Michael says here, I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. We want people to be afraid of how much Google loves you. So the main thing that we want to avoid here is having your company or your brand create Toby Flenderson content. And to us, what Toby Flenderson content is it's content that, much like Michael, you just look at it and you say, why are you the way that you are? Every time I try to get you to rank, you make it not that. And that is just the worst thing in the world. So to avoid that, what I find, the things that people run into that cause Toby Flenderson content is, number one, a failure in keyword research. Number two, a failure in on-page optimization. And number three, a failure when it comes to link building and driving authority to their content. And I know these sound like really basic principles, but there are so many ways that you can go wrong in each and every one of these. And some of these ways are not even things I can cover today, but I hope the things that I do cover will give you some good ideas. So, first of all, keyword research. So many brands I talk to, they treat their keyword strategy much like Michael Scott treats sentences. Sometimes I'll start a content strategy. I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. You can tell that you're in this scenario where it feels like you're just pumping out content piece after content piece after content piece, and you're not getting any traffic. You're not seeing any results from it. If that's you, just stop, take a step back, start doing some research and figuring out why the content's not driving traffic. So a few steps for keyword research and kind of some basic points. Number one is you need to find out what people are actually searching for, not what you wish they were searching for. A lot of brands I talk to, they get so caught up on finding every different, variation of keywords at the, buying keywords at the bottom of their funnel, that they forget about all the stuff that people are actually searching for regularly, all the questions that they're asking at each step of the marketing funnel. So think about every part of the buyer's journey and the marketing funnel, not just the last few steps. The thing I kind of summarize it with is Google is much more like a library than it is a strip mall. People think it's a place for them to sell their products. Really, that's not what Google is. Google is a place that people go to get information. So if you want your website to succeed on Google, then make your website a great place to go to get information and to learn. And from there, if you're educating people and informing them, they're coming to your website, they're going to gain trust in your brand. They're going to get familiar with you as they then work their way down that funnel to make a buying decision. So like I said, don't just address the bottom of your marketing funnel with your organic search and with your keyword research. Think about all those questions that people ask along the way so that you can address those and answer those. So an example of a brand that fell short when it came to keyword research is a company called Paycom.com. Now they're a huge company in the HR payroll software space. Now this is just a quick screenshot of all their keywords. What's the theme that we see here, right? Because Paycom gets hundreds of thousands of visitors a month to their website. What do we see here? Every single one of these keywords is branded. So what does that mean? That means unless you don't already know who Paycom is, you're going to have a very hard time finding them in organic search. And when we look at their blog content, we see a similar story, right? They've created 683 blog articles on their website and are only getting a couple thousand visitors a month to show for it. Like Michael says, that's just the worst, right? And we don't want to run into that. This is a situation where they've created 683 pieces, aren't getting any traffic. It's a good opportunity for them to stop, take a step back. Let's figure out where we're going wrong and how we can fix it. So the first thing that I recommend to do when you're just seeing like your content's not driving traffic for you, you do some keyword research, find an example of a brand in your space that is driving a lot of traffic. And what I did here was I filtered down using advanced filters in Moz by blog traffic for the website. And what you'll see is they have a competitor, Patriot Software, who all I had to do to find them was just type in HR payroll software. They came up on page 1 as well. They are getting over 100 times the amount of traffic from their blog content when compared to Paycom.com. So right there, right away, they could just look to a competitor next door to them and see, wow, someone's getting a lot of traffic here that we're not getting. Let's figure out what they're doing. So from there, what I like to do is I create exports of SEMrush data, and I put them into Excel, and then I filter the website by pages, and then underneath that, the keywords associated with that page. And what do we see from the top performing pages of the website? For Patriot Software, it's all content from their blog. I mean, almost every single page of their top performing pages is blog content. For Paycom, there's only just a few blog articles that are showing up there, and they're all in the hundreds, where Patriot Softwares are all in the thousands, sometimes in the tens of thousands. So what are we seeing here? Is there any doubt who the bigger brand is, right? You look at Paycom, people search for Paycom by name like crazy. More people probably know who Paycom is in general, but who's winning in search? Who's driving the most traffic? Who's introducing themselves to new audiences? Without a doubt, it's Patriot Software. There are so many people who are getting to learn about them because they're simply creating content that answers simple questions that HR professionals ask every day. You know, questions about pay stubs, wages, you know, all those really basic questions. They're answering it, and they're introducing their brand to new people. So what should Paycom do? Step one, do competitor and industry research. In just 10 minutes, they could come up with a variety of topics right here that are driving tens of thousands of visitors a month, probably over 100,000 actually. I'm looking at the numbers here. Over 100,000, 500,000 visitors a month by just creating this content. So yeah, first step, find those competitors and do that competitor research. Number two, make sure you're integrating your content and your SEO efforts. A lot of the time what happens is that people treat content and SEO as two separate silos. They have the SEO team doing their job and the content team doing theirs. That's where stuff like this happens. So they need to integrate their efforts better, have their SEO team consistently working with their content team and making sure that their content is being properly optimized at each step of the way. And then last, invest in content. Now that you've got your strategy in mind, you know the direction to go, now start pumping money into content and developing that content so that you're creating the right content. So is it worth Paycom's time to reassess their keyword strategy and to roll out a new one for their website? The answer is 100% yes. Patriot Software is driving 110 times the amount of traffic that Paycom is. Patriot Software ranks for 38 times more keywords through their content. And most importantly, this is where it hits you in the pocketbook. Paycom would have to pay almost $1 million per month, $970,000 per month to get the amount of traffic that their competitor Patriot Software is through organic search. So that right there explains it all. That's almost $1 million of free traffic that Patriot Software is getting by having this content on their website. All right. The other thing when it comes to keyword research that we need to think about is search intent. And much like Michael's saying here, if you don't get search intent right, it can ruin your life. So what is search intent? What I like to define it as is search intent is the reason behind the query a person has used. It's not just the what of what they're searching, it's the why they are searching for it. And so why does that matter? A good example here is this brand called MRP. What MRP does is they create account-based marketing platforms. So they help businesses be more successful with their account-based marketing efforts. Now, if there was a page that Google could rank for account-based marketing, it's probably this one on their website. And what it is simply just a product page about account-based marketing that talks about their platform and how helpful it is. Now, the bad news is that even though this page has the words account-based marketing on it and it maybe could rank for it, I'm going to tell you this, it never will. It'll never show up on page one. And the reason why is because it misses out on search intent. Let's look at this. Just by Googling the word account-based marketing, we can look at some of these results and really quickly get a clear picture on what's going on. What's the top result? It's a glossary page. The next one, the guide to account-based marketing. This is another kind of glossary definitional page. What is account-based marketing? Another complete guide to account-based marketing. So does Google view the word account-based marketing as a product search or a service search? Do they think people are trying to find a service for it? No, Google's assuming that people are searching for more information about account-based marketing or what is account-based marketing. So if you're gonna be able to rank for this keyword, you need to create a guide about account-based marketing or some kind of informational page about it, because that's what Google is assuming the intent of search is when people search for that keyword. So if you want to make sure you're on the right track when it comes to search intent, it's pretty simple. First, just look what's currently ranking for that keyword. Type in the keyword, see what kinds of pages are ranking. If you see that there's a pretty consistent pattern, that it's informational pages or guides, or maybe it is a product and there are a lot of transactional pages ranking, great. But if not, you need to make sure that you're creating the right page that aligns with the intent that you're seeing within the search results. If not, you're going to run into a situation where you're trying to get the wrong type of page to rank, and it just never will, because Google just doesn't think that's what people are searching for. All right. So for the next section, we're going to talk about on-page optimization, and we're going to get extreme with our example. We're not going to do parkour like Michael, but we are going to talk about snowboarding. So the example I have today is Burton Snowboards. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, not quite in the winter sports industry, Burton's one of the most prestigious brands in the snowboarding space. They've been around for decades. They're big time. So you would assume that if you were looking for, how to pick a snowboard, Burton would want to rank #1 and probably should rank #1 for that keyword, right? They've got a perfect guide about snowboard sizing that could rank for that keyword. The answer is no. The brand that ranks is Evo, who is a retailer that sells a lot of different extreme sports, supplies to people. So why isn't Burton able to rank for this keyword? They're an authority in their space. They have a page that's probably a good fit for it. What's going on here? So first of all, let's look at what they're missing out on. What they're missing out on is almost 6 times the amount of traffic they could be getting. Evo's guide drives over 21,000 or almost 21,000 visitors a month. Burton's doesn't quite get to 4,000 visitors a month. So they're missing out on, almost about exactly 17,000 visitors a month by not doing on-page optimization properly. So that's a big thing there. Next thing I want to look at is keyword research. Now, we talked about that in step 1. What you can tell that Evo did really well is they did a good job with their keyword research. And the way you can tell this is that Evo titled their article, "How to Choose a Snowboard and a Snowboard Sizing Chart." Now, the reason why this is important is because snowboard size chart gets 18,000 searches per month. The keyword that Burton chose to optimize for, which is snowboard sizing, gets only 13,000. Actually, the number's bigger when I pulled it up in SEM. It's actually 23,000 searches per month. So they're missing out on a lot of traffic opportunity. And this is, the global amount. So they're actually missing out on a lot of traffic opportunity by not choosing the phrase that has the most search opportunity behind it. So #1, they're starting at a disadvantage there. And that's where they're with the title tag, where they're falling short. Also, we want to look at how is Evo using header tags within their piece. And Evo has a great structure set up, and I love the way they did this. What they're doing is they're using their header tags as a way to highlight questions that they know people are searching for as they're making the decision to buy a snowboard. Then they use the body of their text to answer that question. And this is awesome because what Google wants to do is to provide people with the best answers to their questions. So with this optimization structure, Evo is saying, hey, here's the question, and we are answering it directly in our piece here. So when somebody types in the word, "What size snowboard should I get?" Google knows they can return this article because there's a whole section that answers that exact question. So I love this format. I love the way that they did this. They're asking the questions that they know people are searching for and then answering them directly within the piece. I think that's a great format and a good way to structure your pieces. But again, the main point here is that they have a title tag that describes what's in their piece. They have header tags that describe what's in each section, and they're using their keyword research to inform that. On the other hand, when we look at Burton's article, they've got just words like weight and boot size. Yeah, if you're really familiar with snowboarding, okay, they're talking about the weight of my board, or maybe they're talking about my weight. Actually, that is a little confusing now that I think about it. But also, just in general, they could be talking about weightlifting. They could be talking about weights on a fishing line. Boot size, we're talking cowboy boots, moon boots, right? It'd be better to have more descriptive headers for each section that more directly address the subject matter of your piece, so your article's more relevant to those questions. So again, each header tag should accurately describe what's being discussed in the section below it. And that's something that these header tags just aren't quite doing for me. All right, so in terms of on-page optimization, some key takeaways. #1, use your keyword research and your understanding of search intent to know how to optimize your content. Use your title and header tags to accurately describe what exists in the article, and then use your header tags to accurately describe what's within the section that they're headlining. Use a Q&A format where applicable. Again, I think that's a great way to show Google that you are directly answering questions, and that your article is a good place to get those answers. The other thing I kind of want to highlight, even though I didn't talk about it directly earlier, is there's no magic word count that makes your page rank. A lot of people will say like, oh, it needs to be at least this long or this. There's no magic number that all of a sudden Google says, great, I'm going to rank this. It's about comprehensively and completely answering questions. And if your content is the best answer to a question, that's what's going to put you in the best position possible to be able to rank. All right, so now we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to our hearts here at Page One Power, and that is links. And just like Michael says to Jan at the end of season 3, you complete me. Links definitely complete us here at Page One Power. We've really kind of carved out our name in the industry as a link builder over the years. So why do links matter, and do they still matter? I like to let Google themselves give us the answer to that question. In an interview, Andre Lepatsev, who's a senior strategist at Google, was asked, what are the primary ranking factors? His answer, it's content and it's links. So we definitely know that links are a big part of how Google ranks websites. So when it comes to links and earning links and how that works within your content strategy, there's a few things that we want to talk about. First, some content is link worthy and some is not. If you create a super niche, keyword specific article about a specific topic in your industry, you're probably not gonna have a lot of linkability behind that piece. And yeah, it's an important piece for you to have because your audience might be searching for it, but for links, it's not gonna be a winner. So I strongly recommend creating content specifically for the purpose of earning links. Often this content is audience related, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. The other thing we need to remember is that content you create needs to be well supported within your site architecture. And how do you do that? Through internal linking. The questions that you should ask yourself is, if I don't think my content is valuable enough to link to, then why would anybody else want to link to it? The other question, what signal does it send to Google about the importance of my pages if I'm not even willing to link to them within my own site? So there's so many reasons why you should be internally linking, but number one is that it's going to better support your pages within your site architecture. It's going to provide opportunities to funnel link equity to those pages to help them perform better in organic search and to show that they're key parts of your website. So when creating linkable content, now this is those supporting pieces that you're going to create. They're going to have internal links pointing to maybe those either conversion pages or more keyword heavy pages on your site. What should those look like? So to guide the conversation, I always recommend asking these questions. First, who would want to link to this? The way I like to answer this is think of the audiences and communities out on the web that are relevant to your products or your services or to your industry. And the kind of thing about the real world, right? Just like the real world is made up of communities and groups of people who congregate and have common interests, the web is just the same. So find audiences like that like to link to resources and good pages and create pages for those audiences. The next question is, why would they link to it? So the why is an important part. And the reason, what I like to think about with this is why someone should link to it is because you're solving a problem for them, or you're providing them with a valuable piece of information that's going to help them in their day-to-day lives. Create content that's useful for people, that provides value to people. And that's what people are going to want to link to. Because at that point, when you do the outreach to try to get someone to link to your content, you don't have to offer them money. You don't have to try to exchange links or do anything that Google frowns upon. You're simply outreaching and saying, hey, I've got a great piece of content that your audience is going to enjoy. Here's why. You want to add it to your resource page? It's much easier to pitch content that is providing value to human beings. Next, what makes my pages different to or better than similar pages on the web? If I have one more brand ask me about building links to a mortgage calculator, I'm going to have some serious problems. My head's going to explode. Number one, Google has a mortgage calculator. Just Google mortgage calculator. Every finance website on the web has one. Unless you've got the ultimate mortgage calculator with bigger bells and whistles than anybody else, no one's going to want to link to it because everybody's already linking to them. So instead, you need to create a unique angle or something superior to what's out there. So try to create something that's unique and providing unique value to audiences on the web. All right. So you go through all this trouble of creating great linkable content. You're internally linking it to important pages on your site. You're now promoting this content through outreach, trying to get links to it. Do those links actually make a difference? And what do we have to show for that? The answer is absolutely yes. And here's an example from a campaign that we worked on in 2019. You can see from the sampling of pages that we built links to, the pages that we built links to got up into the page authority 30 range. The pages that we didn't remained in the 20s. So link building helped to make pages more authoritative. In terms of keywords, the client grew in keywords immensely over the year that we worked on the campaign. They added over 5,000 keywords to their keyword base, and traffic, they tripled in traffic to their blog from our link building efforts by increasing the authority of those pages. So how do links help you? Number one, they can make your pages more authoritative. They can help you rank for more keywords, right? As Google sees your content's trustworthy and authoritative, they're going to continue to rank you for more and more keywords. And also, it'll help you to drive more traffic. Because you're ranking better, more people are going to find your content, click on your content. And just like this client, we're able to help them to increase their blog traffic by 250%. So I mean, based on these kinds of stats, do you think links are still a big part of how Google ranks pages? I would say absolutely yes. All right, so we talked about a lot of stuff today. Let's do some basic key takeaways. Just like Michael says, why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5? For keyword research, simplified, find out what people are searching for and understand why they are searching for it. That's making sure you know what keywords are getting searched for, and then from there, the search intent side. So making sure your content aligns with the intent of search. Number 2, use logical on-page optimization to target keyword themes that matter to you. So I talked about that before, using your title tag to accurately describe what's in your piece. Use your keyword research to inform how to optimize those for the phrases that get the most traffic. And then from there, use your header tags to accurately describe what sections are below them. And again, keyword research can help you to know what kinds of topics people are searching for, what questions that they're asking, so you can optimize your piece the best way possible. And then number 3, earn organic backlinks to content and use internal linking. Again, not all the content on your site can earn links. So create linkable content pieces that can earn quality backlinks, internally link those pieces to the pages that you want to support, and then go out and do all the outreach that your heart desires and try to earn some great quality backlinks to the content that you've created. All right, well, thank you so much. I want to do some questions. Even though this presentation is supposed to be about Michael, we can't talk about The Office without giving some love to Dwight Schrute. So if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer a few of those, and I'll kind of let Ben go ahead and chime in here with some of those.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I think especially that last slide in there, just pointing out those key takeaways, finding things that are actually relevant to the people that you're outreaching to, like is, I think, to your point with the mortgage calculator, like people are searching for that, but people have already found, they've already found that. So finding and like kind of, I mean, read the room a little bit, like kind of understand like where your clients are at, where those target sites are at, and then try to meet people where they're at. So finding that middle ground, I think, is really important. And then also, of course, like you mentioned, optimizing. Like the fact that Burton doesn't rank #1 is mind blowing to me. Like Burton is the pioneer of snowboarding, like created it. So.
And I missed it too. I had a little blip about it. It was small on the screen. I forgot to mention it. Their website is more authoritative than the competitor. It's like, there's every reason why Google should want to rank that page or that site higher. It's just they haven't optimized it properly, and there's probably some link building they can do and supporting that piece. All these steps are things that they missed out on that is now costing them, 17,000 visitors a month that are searching for questions on how to pick a snowboard.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think maybe to play devil's advocate, I think people will be like, oh, well, you have to pay to, have that content built, and that content just doesn't come for free that the other brand is building. But man, if you consider like your return on investment for something like a link building campaign versus what was it, like $1 million a month, like, or 973.
Yeah. And that was for Paycom, right? Yeah.
And
I mean,
I guess, but the same sort of example there is your content is like one of your biggest factors. And I think when a lot of people start understanding that you can accomplish a lot of the same things that you accomplish with paid ads or social media campaigns or things like that, except it works all the time and you don't have to keep feeding that fire every single day. That's kind of a cool feeling. And I think once you kind of people see that momentum perk up, it's kind of cool. So looks like we got a question. Andrew's asking, what should we do if you realize the page you have built for a set of target keywords no longer serves the searcher intent for those keywords because search intent has changed? Great question. So basically, what if people are no longer searching for, if they're searching for account-based marketing, what if they are actually trying to find software because that becomes the next marketing craze that everyone jumps on? So how would you adjust your pages if you were to do something like that?
I mean, I would always create a page that aligns with the current search intent. And so if your current page doesn't do it, then create one that does. If it changes, then create a new page that better aligns with it. I mean, if you're a company that does HR software or ABM or any of those topics, you should have if you do payroll, you should have a comprehensive guide about payroll and how to do payroll as an organization. And then that way, when somebody searches for payroll, even though your software might not show up for it, your guide can now show up for it. So it's about just having content that addresses the keyword themes that people are searching for, and that addresses it in the way that Google knows it or assumes that people are searching for it. So yeah, I would say if you already have it, great. If you don't have it, create it. If it changes, then create the page that now addresses with it. But it's so simple. Just by seeing what's ranking currently, you can get a really good idea on what the intent of search is.
Would you recommend modifying the page that is currently on there, or would you recommend creating a new page altogether?
I mean, so if you have a product page, if the intent of your page is to sell, right? I mean, like it's a conversion page. So we have a lot of brands that come to us and they say like, okay, well, can I just add some more helpful information to my product page and make that a linkable asset? And it's like, well, no, because your page still doesn't address search intent. Your page is still a buying page. It's not an informational page. So in that scenario, I would say you need to create a new page that is purely informational, educational, because that's what the intent of search is.
Awesome. Makes sense. Looks like we have another question that came in. Angelique asks, we link to product pages that eventually run out of stock. What issues should I be aware of here? For example, bad customer experience. Keep in mind, resources are limited, so updating every blog eventually is not scalable.
Okay, so we're linking to pages. I mean, definitely I would, redirect links and change links to pages that are products that are currently being offered. Those kinds of things. Again, does provide a bad user experience. So definitely would do that. If you can't scale the content creation necessary for it, I mean, that's kind of a tough one because you have like thousands and thousands of product pages. I mean, you'd assume that you're selling a lot, so you should then be able to create the content needed to fuel that. But I mean, I think you just got to make it a priority to create linkable content and internally link it. And if you can't keep up with it, then that's probably where you look at maybe hiring an agency to help. You can have people do internal linking audits to go through and check your internal links. These are things that you don't have to hire an employee and pay them thousands of dollars a month. You can find a firm to do a good job of it for a one-time cost that can help you to assess what's going wrong with your internal linking and provide you feedback on how to fix those issues. So that might be a good situation to use an agency.
Yeah, and that's kind of tough, of course, just because, I mean, anytime that you're building links to a page that is going to go away, you have to keep in mind that you're kind of fighting an uphill battle there a little bit too. Mm-hmm. If you can pivot that to where you're able to change, I mean, I'm not exactly sure like the intricacies of your business, but I'm thinking of like, okay, we have limited run of like t-shirts, for example. We only do 1,000 prints and then they're done. So if you're linking that and you're saying limited print 1 is the domain, or the URL, and then you're basically saying after 3 months, like limited 1 is going to be gone. It's kind of tough because then, as I mentioned, like you're putting in a lot of work and a lot of effort to basically have something that is going to be pointing to eventually a dead page, essentially, or a page that's going to no longer necessarily serve the best purpose, even if you're like saying, hey, out of stock, go back to the rest of our products. It's still, again, it's perfectly like what you mentioned. Like it is it's a hit to your customer experience, because every single click between you or your customer and the final goal is like an opportunity to streamline your process. So maybe you can do like larger categories, maybe that are like limited teas, or I'm not sure exactly. I'm just trying to think maybe a little bit outside the box, that if you can maybe even do like a category page so that it lives a little bit longer, you can build, but I mean, then you're missing out on some of the specificity of it. So
yeah. And I mean, my technical, I mean, I'm a content and links guy by trade, and technical SEO isn't always my forte, but I know some people, and I'd be happy to answer those questions later and get some feedback from members of my team who are, very, very well learned in technical SEO. I'd be happy to provide you some feedback. I also kind of worry about, if you do have a lot of pages that no longer provide value, you start worrying about like index bloat and things like that if you're just have all these pages that serve no purpose in the site. So I'd love to answer that question and get some more in-depth answers for you that can maybe get more on the technical side of that issue.
Yeah, great question. And as you can tell, I'm definitely a strategist. I'm very big picture. I'm like, just
it'll work. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Another question: which is more beneficial or important to SEO? A page that brings a ton of links, or a page that ranks for a specific set of keywords? So broad versus more kind of a detailed and very.
I think I know who asked this question, and what I would say, if I had to choose, which is funny because me being a link, we're page one power, the link building company, I would pick a keyword focused page, because if you don't have the keywords to rank for, then you can build links to the site and there's no keywords that you're gonna be ranking for. You have this authoritative site that doesn't rank for anything. So I would probably create the content, the keyword content first. It would be my my priority.
Awesome.
But again, both are absolutely necessary. This isn't me saying ignore one or the other. Do both. But if I had to, make the choice, that's what I do.
As we mentioned before, it's keywords, or I mean, it's content and the links, and so I mean, you got to get both.
You got to do both of them
for sure. Awesome. Great questions, you guys. We're going to be wrapping up here in just a few moments. If you guys do have any other questions, be sure to get those typed in right now.
Did we want to do some office trivia to give away some gift cards?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was going to say we can get that started here in just a second.
Right.
For those of you who were willing to stick around, we do have office trivia, and it's going to be Grubhub. So lunch on us. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Michael, I'll let you go ahead and take it from here, and we can get started on some trivia.
Sounds great. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to try not to give away any answers here. I have managed not to. So I'm going to ask a question from the office. You or whoever answers it first, use the chat. I'll let Ben let me know who answered it first. Whoever does correctly, we will send you a Grubhub what am I saying? A Grubhub gift card, and we'll just send that to you after the webinar. So.
And make sure when you guys open up the chat, make sure that the little 2 is selected for all panelists and attendees. So make sure everyone can see it.
We want to give you the credit that you deserve. So the first question is, what is Pam's favorite yogurt flavor?
Ooh, this is a good one. I think I know this one.
Again, what is Pam's favorite yogurt flavor? Did we get one yet?
Oh, looks like we got one. Looks like Andrew said mixed berry.
That's correct. Mixed berry. We learned that in the first season of The Office. Pam likes mixed berry. All right.
The deep cut. That's way back.
Who bought Michael's world's best boss mug for him? Who bought Michael's world's best boss mug for him?
Brad says Michael.
That is correct. I bought this for myself. He straight up says it.
Nice. Good job, Brad.
Great answer. All right. Who does Dwight tip?
Who does Dwight
tip regularly?
Looks like we got Andrew says his urologist because he can't pulverize his own kidney stones.
His urologist. Why tip someone for a job I'm capable of doing myself? I can deliver food. I can drive a taxi. I can and do cut my own hair. I did tip my urologist because I'm unable to pulverize my own kidney stones. That is correct.
I love it.
All right. Bears, beets, and what?
Ooh.
Come on.
Everyone's got it. There we go. Brian, looks like Bree says Battlestar Galactica.
Bears, beets, and Battlestar Galactica.
Nailed it.
Is correct. All right. What shoes does Kevin wear to Jim and Pam's wedding?
Ooh.
What shoes does Kevin wear?
Got some guesses in here. Tissue boxes, says Andrew.
Correct. Tissue boxes. Is what he wears.
Nice.
Remember, he has shoes that are so stinky that the hotel just has to destroy them. So he doesn't have shoes for the wedding anymore. So he has to wear his tissue boxes. And he's wearing a wig, which is really funny. Or a toupee, I should say. Who is the main villain of Threat Level Midnight?
Ooh. I know this one. All right, looks like we got one. Goldface. Jim.
Golden Face, yep. Played by Jim Halpert.
Nicely done.
I watched that episode for the first time in a while a couple days ago and about died laughing. It's a classic episode.
Nicely done.
Complete this quote from Oscar. Toby, I am blank god of wine.
Ooh. Was this at that house party or the big party?
It was.
Man. Brad says Bacchus.
Yes, Toby, I am Bacchus, god of wine. That is right. That's what he exclaims. And then what does Toby say after?
Good on.
And I am Bacchus's friend. That is one of the great Toby moments. All right. There are very few good Toby moments. That's actually one of them. All right. What was Michael's second job in the episode Money?
Telemarketer?
Correct. Telemarketer for a weight loss product.
Nice.
All right. What concert did Michael say he had tickets for to auction off for Crime Aid? All right, some typos in that one. But what concert did he say he had tickets for?
There we go. That's it. Andrew says Bruce Springsteen, the boss.
Bruce Springsteen, the boss. That's right. I thought he winked at the end of this gift, but he doesn't. That's a little anticlimactic for me. I was kind of excited for that, but at least he turns around and gives you a good smirk. All right.
I'll do him afterwards. I'll send it.
What's the name of the company Dwight and Michael gather intel on? It's a competitor of theirs.
Let's see. Andrew says Prince Paper.
It's correct. Prince Paper. Since
Nice.
1968. Remember, Michael goes in as, I think, a lawyer that's looking to buy paper, and then Dwight comes in and interviews for a job and tells him to like fire his own son so that he can get him the job. It's great. All right. Whoa, there we go. This is the easiest one. What kind of bear is best?
All right, this is a good one. All right, what is it? What do we got here? What's the trick question?
False. Black bear. Black bears are best, guys. Come on.
Nice. There we go. That's
All right.
that's a party round. Everyone gets that one.
Everyone gets that one. Oh, sorry. I thought you said what is it as in pull it up. Well, that was good stuff. All right. That's all I had for office trivia. Those are a few good ones. I think that was it. Yep. So hopefully you enjoyed some office trivia. Whoever answered questions right, hopefully we get to ship off some sweet gift cards to you so you can buy yourself some lunch here in the next couple of days.
Absolutely. We will make sure that we get those sent out to you guys. If I should be sending you an email if you guys want trivia, I'll shoot you an email and we'll get you all linked up. If you don't hear from me by the end of the afternoon, definitely reach out to me. But we'll get you guys taken care of. We're super thankful for Michael for joining us and sharing your new presentation. That was fantastic. I mean, we are always blessed anytime that we get some office memes in there and some gifts. So we appreciate you. Thank you guys for joining in and sticking around. Join us. We're actually going to be back Thursday, and we're going to be talking with Andy Crestadina. And we're going to be talking about what's working right now according to 1,000 bloggers. So Andy and his agency actually put together a list every year where they survey over 1,000 writers and bloggers, and they talk about where their wins and losses are. And so we're going to be talking about that. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. Join us again, same time this Thursday. So just 2 days from now. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks again, you guys. We really appreciate it. Stay safe out there and go vote. Appreciate you guys. See you next time. See you guys.